Here at BigData.com, we're all about delivering the infrastructure and rails necessary to power agentic research and finance. And while we have a lot of great solutions that are off the shelf that don't require any coding whatsoever, we've actually heard a lot from our clients that say, I already have existing applications that I use for my internal people that I offer to my clients, and I just want APIs to power them. And we took that to heart, and over the last few months, we've really built out our entire developer ecosystem of APIs. And what you're seeing here on the screen now is our developer platform. Available at platform.bigdata.com. This is a really easy visual way of exploring all the APIs we offer to help you start building as fast as possible with big data, whether that's search, agent, or workflows, which I'll jump into in a bit more detail. So I'm going to start with search because that's the most foundational component of this entire system. So big data, we live and breathe unstructured data, right? That's why people come to us. They say, I don't want to have to build an entire IR stack purpose-built for finance. There's a lot of nuance in finance. You care about reporting periods, fiscal year versus calendar year, temporal filtering, source filtering, understanding sections and how to chunk content the right way when you're looking at transcripts versus filings, having domain-specific embeddings, having trained multi-phase rankers and cross-encoders, again, that are tuned for this domain. All that stuff is not easy and it's painful work. We've gone through the pain and we're offering you the infrastructure so you don't have to do it yourself. And that's why clients love to work with us and why they don't like to do this themselves. And our search API, like I said, is sitting on top of that, all that foundation where we're sourcing thousands of sources of content, we're ingesting them, we're detecting millions of entities across all those sources, companies, people, places, and products. We are then chunking it, generating embeddings, indexing it, and making it available on top of this or via these APIs. So search API, the most basic foundational element here. We have a fast mode. And so what you can see here is all very easy ways of visualizing this, right? So you can see, okay, this is the API request. This is the output. This is what I should get back. If I want to change and say I only want to see consumer demand commentary from transcripts, I can select transcripts as a filter. If I only want it from the last 30 days, I can do that. And I can see exactly how that's represented in code, what that request would look like. I can run that query and now I'm seeing that live. Those chunks are the only things I'm getting back. If I wanted to say, I only want negative, I can also apply that filter. And what's really important here is that all of these things that we've tuned and optimized for in finance are key, right? These aren't things you're going to get out of a generic search engine. And they're things that are really important to deliver really meaningful context to anything that you're building with LLMs and finance. And you know that context is king. You don't want to waste tokens. Tokens are precious. You want to pump in the most relevant context. You want to reduce the noise. And an API like this is how you do that. And our playground experience is all about enabling you to easily explore all the different facets that are available so you can get the most out of our system and the most out of your users and delivering the most value as rapidly as possible. So fast mode is that all the details, all the control. Smart mode on the API is actually something that we've done recently because people don't always know exactly what filters they want, but they still want to make sure the context is really clean and focusing on recall, but also precision. So in this case, we have a more free-form request, which is commentary from Ford and GM's latest earnings calls. And if I run pure semantic search on that, I'm going to get a lot of stuff that's talking about these, but it's not going to be specifically those two documents. You can see in smart search or in search with smart mode on, you're getting only those two documents. If I run that same search here, I'm going to get a bunch of stuff that's semantically relevant, but not exactly what I want. And that's the comparison between fast and smart. Fast, lots of control, lots of specificity. Smart, a little more latency, but it's our job to figure out the query intent, intelligently apply filters, and deliver the best results possible for what you're asking for. So the foundations are all on top of search, but what we've had is we have a lot of people using search to build out their own agents, etc. But we also have people that say, I don't want to have to build my own agentic harness and all the framework and managing all of that scale, etc. And that's where our research agent API comes in. You can build really easy, great conversational experiences that, again, leverage and expose all these different facets, whether you're filtering on certain sources, temporal filtering. You can do multi-turn by enabling persistence. You can do sentiment, negative and positive. And you can see here, in this case, I just ran one for Figma recent earnings. It's our search tool. It's also using our knowledge graph to tie it to structured data and using structured data where necessary. So you can see there, it put in what was a event calendar. It also is reading in the transcript. So it's intelligently navigating based off the user's request and doing everything you want it to do and delivering a conversational output. So again, this is for those that are delivering conversational agents and don't want to build all the scaffolding, but want to do it for finance. You can do it on all the content we have, or you can plug in your own content and let it run on your own content. And we have people doing both things. We also have use cases where people have said, your agent is awesome. I see the value, but I have deterministic things I do repeatedly over and over and over. And that's where workflows is born. And workflows is just, again, another level of abstraction sitting on top of our research agent this time. Agent sits on top of search. Workflows sits on top of research agent. And workflows are really a templatized way of triggering and organizing a very clear, more deterministic execution of an agent run. And so what you can see here is you can actually set dynamic inputs when you define a workflow. And that templating engine here is you have this prompt, you inject dynamic inputs, as many as you want. Those are tied through our knowledge graph, right? So I'm injecting a company and then we expand it when at execution time. You can see all the research steps that are being used. So I can control this and define this as specifically or as generally as I want. And that leaves the room for the agent and to reason and think through the best way of accomplishing this. When I execute this, it's going to follow the exact plan that I've defined, spawn sub-agents to execute on each step of the plan. And there's a main agent that's orchestrating all this and then ultimately delivering a really good output for you. And this is, again, what's beautiful about this is it's all API driven. You can see the code here. You can see the output here, streams back events the same way that our research agent does, but it's all API and you can do this, drop it into your own experience, and you don't have to use any of our UIs. You just use our plumbing and our infrastructure to really push and mold this in exactly the way you want, right? We're not in the business of building every single one of these workflows. We're in the business of giving you the tooling to power all the workflows that you want. This is finance. So at the end of the day, we need to have some structured data here. So you have all your basics, pricing, financials, analyst ratings, holdings, fund holdings, calendars, etc. All this is given to our agent and workflows to give it a nice, robust picture whenever you're executing different things. And it also is available as independent APIs if you have any needs to do that. And that's all connected with our knowledge graph, right? Our knowledge graph is that tissue that ties it all together, having a single entity ID for every single company, person, place, product, etc. That is an overview of a developer platform, a very quick overview of our APIs. If you want to see more demo use cases, you can see demo apps here. This is an API experience built for developers to make it really easy to get started, understand our APIs, understand the ecosystem, and deliver value for your users and your clients as fast as possible. Really excited to see what you all build. Have a great day. Thank you.